Labour leader Ed Miliband made a conference week visit to the East Manchester Academy on Saturday afternoon for a special question and answer session organised by the Manchester Evening News. David Otterwell, the MEN's head of politics, introduced the leader of the opposition, who also made a short speech before taking questions from the floor.
We'll put jobs in the public sector ahead of pay rises, because we thought that was the right thing to do in this Parliament. There'll be cuts that have been made by this government, some of which you'll ask me about.
You know what I'm thinking about the grassroots level, and how can we be assured that that will feed through into your policy making?
Because one of the things that makes life such a struggle for people is those costs that people are facing, from the weekly food shop to the energy bill to all of those issues. And the other thing that's important is you've got to have fairness in taxation. And you've got to have a fair tax policy, fair to you and fair to everybody else. Now, we haven't set out all our tax policies at the moment, but I totally hear what you're saying about the people who aren't on the lowest wage, who certainly aren't on the highest wage, but are really struggling. And we've got to make a difference to you. One way, as I say, is let's clamp down on those people who are making the cost of living significantly higher for you, like the energy companies and others. And that's just one thing I think we can do. I think there's other things we can do, but I think that is a start.
Ed Miliband was asked about everything from income inequality to the rising numbers of working poor, the future of education and opportunities for young people, and the restructuring of the NHS.
The checks land on the doormats of the millionaires next April for £40,000. The checks that David Cameron is writing. And then think about the MEN's campaign. And then think, well, is that really the priorities of the people of Britain? My answer to that is no. But thirdly, I think the most important question I want to pick up on, which is this question about young people and how you get young people involved in politics. Look, I think this issue of how you get people involved in politics, not just young people, is simple. It's simple to say, maybe harder to do. If people think politics makes a difference to them, then they'll vote. If they think it doesn't make a difference, then they won't bother. And in a way, I think the challenge is for us, not for politicians, and not for people. Because in a way, it's not like voting or being involved in politics is a particularly difficult thing to do. I mean, voting once every few years is quite an easy thing to do, but so many people don't do it.
Mr Miliband did face some difficult questions, particularly about how he'd protect the most vulnerable in society while dealing with the economic crisis. However, this isn't the toughest audience he's ever faced, and more of a warm-up session before him and the Labour Party set out their stall in Manchester this week. This is John Sutton for menonline.co.uk.